Hello, hello, and welcome. This is Julie with Jewel Design. Happy Tuesday. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's early for me, so hopefully you guys get this at a decent hour. I've decided that when I get a video done, whether short, reel, video, hopefully about every other day, I'm going to do it and get it up. Whether it be 10 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock at night or midnight or whatever. Scheduling it for a specific time every day or every other day or whatever the deal is just isn't getting me a lot. So I figured when I've got it, I'm going to give it to you guys. We'll try that for a while this summer and into the new year. So, or into the new school year, I should say. There's two different things I run with. But as a mom, I run a school year more times than a calendar year. Oh, I was a seasonal, then it's calendar. Oh my goodness. Okay, so today, two things. We took the cover off this lovely new Dollar Tree book and used it for the snowy snowflakey winter journal December daily, right? Okay, here it is. I'm not sewn in yet. I'm a little behind schedule, but pockets got done. I did some snowflakes as doilies, so I'm gonna deck those out. I'm gonna ink them, and we're gonna sew them in as pockets, belly bands, and doilies. So that's gonna be a fun little project. Whether I do that on camera, I do not know, but I have to get those decorated before I can get them sewn in, and then I can get it sewn in. So it's okay. This is my December daily, so I have some time to keep working on it so that it is ready for December. So it'll be something that'll just pop up out of nowhere, but it's very full, even though, we haven't even actually started using it yet. So, but we pulled off that gorgeous blue cover, covered the inside because it was hot pink, as you can see, and now I have this book. Well, I already have like 3 of them that I've done this to, where I have plenty of book pages brand new to tea dye and do whatever with. And I thought, well, what if we reversed it? What if we created a cover and then made this an altered book? So if you're new to junk journaling, an altered book is taking, usually with a hardcover on it, but you decorate the cover, you go inside, and you use the pages as your base, as your backboard. And you fold them, and you glue them, and you cover them, right, to make a really pretty book. It could be a lookbook, it can be a writing book. It's a little harder to make it a journal, a writing book, unless you get you could do a bunch of, which I have, a bunch of tea dyed, coffee dyed, eco dyed, where you can start covering some pages front and back just to write on. So I'll keep that in mind when I'm pulling pages, that maybe every other set, 1, 2, 3, 4, do something fun with it. You pull 7 to 8 pages, depending how thick your book is, and then maybe I'll leave the next 3 plain so that I can, 1, 2, 3, so I can cover front and back to write on, and then do a fun set of 4, so on and so forth. So hopefully today we'll get started on some, what's the word? I love this. I love the fact that it's gray. I'm going to have to cover up this part, of course. I'm going to have to find a really cool collage page that I want to do this, and so keep some of the gray. But we definitely don't need this front page, right? Now, sometimes some people will keep the pages you pull out, which that is an intention, and those become things that you glue on, use for ephemera. I'm hoping this will be an ongoing project, with not the intention to keep, but sell at some point. But it's gonna be an ongoing. We're gonna have to I want to get creative with every 4 pages on how we, create pockets and whatnot. So. But this one is it's my fluff. This is going to be my, I need a sampler page. So anyway, I do want to utilize that. So, front is by itself. And yeah, we're going to do it. I think the first few pages, we're going to definitely cover them singly just to give some oomph, and we don't go straight into anything too thick. So we'll pull some pages out, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, okay, but we have to start with the cover. And I got inspired while we were doing this, when we were pulling the cover for the other one, or pulling the cover for the snowy winter. This kit I have in the shop came to mind. I think that I didn't want to pick any one theme per se, and I realized that I had this set, and I have some other papers so far, and I know I have more, I just don't have them all printed. But to go through my stash, and of course keep thinning stuff out, we have these lovely brown bags by themselves with this printed kit. We have white ones. We have a bundle where it's this white ones and then this with white polka dots on it. I think I'm down to 1 of these left with the white polka dots. So if you need the polka dots, just grab the kit with the brown and the white too. It's a it's a great deal. You get 4 of each one. But anyway, anyways, you get 6 brown ones, and then you get this printed kit. So if you can't, sorry guys, my voice is doing weird things this morning. Like I said, it's early. I have lots to do. Still working on my daughter's room, so we'll get into that. Anyway, this is a collage of all kinds of different papers that I've created over the last couple of years, and they're all clustered letters, documents, scans, with beautiful things laid over them, and they make great collage pages. And these are all just about vertical. I did realize that. But the intention really is to use them on the bags to help you make pouches, pockets, ephemera holders, all that jazz. So I thought, though, normally you would put them on here, right? You put them on, you could rip them, tear them, glue them down. You would fold up, if you folded up the pouch, then okay, so we'll cut a piece and then put the other piece in the front. There's Gail Gustinelli, Lorette, of course, Chandler over at Vintage Paper Girl. Lorette does gorgeous pouches with these bags. Ephemera holder, pocket, pouches, whatever you want to call them. So these pages are great for that, and that's why they're vertical. But in this case, I think they're still going to be helpful because I'm going to, corner and square, and we're just going to cluster, and not cluster, that's what I feel like, collage these pages as I need them. So, but I have other pages. I found other florals and other backgrounds that we were using, like in my last project, that I'm going to pull from my stash, and then as I go along, I'm going to do the same thing I did here, and find more pages that I have created over the years that are backgrounds and clusters and collages and whatnot. And because I think I have 3 more of this set in the shop, and after that, depending what pages I pull for this altered book, I will have a new set of these brown bags still, but 12. I think it's 12 pages, 10 or 12 pages of printed work. That's mine. That we'll put together for a new set of new kit of pages and bags. So, yeah, I think I have 3 of these, and I'll start with 2 or 3 new sets also. So, this is the inspiration. And so what I found was I only had 1, but like these pages, we were using some of them for whatever last thing I was doing. So these are a combination of both horizontal and vertical. But I have all these lovely pages that are oopsies, last minute, leftovers. What project was I working on? I don't know, I was creating something with you guys. One of my ephemera holders, and we went through and picked pages like these out. So I figured this was a good start that we could blend in. And I will sort of pick and pull throughout the kit, throughout the book, and, lay these out. And some of these are, I have this green kit, paper kit. I have this bunny spring kit, floral kit. Yeah, all these things are sitting in my digital shop. Now, Jewel Design is the digital side of my kit and caboodle here. And what we got started with many, many years ago, right? So, if you're, like I said, sort of new to me, a Jewel Design, is, I know it's laminated, I don't know, that was my smartest idea, is a Jewel Design, has a design on the bottom. Isn't that funny? Did I really do that? Oh, I have both cards, but they're the same thing. Well, how rude. Oh, it's on there, but it's super little. Okay. I was like, really? Now, laminating these things can be fun, and now I'm regretting it because you guys can't see it half the time. Anyway, right here, I may have to screenshot and stop it. But ajeweldesign.etsy.com is the digital side of the business, and then Design Journal and Supplies are the printed supply side. So see, here's both. See, there's the Design Journal and Supplies, me and Lorette, and then that's just me, which started out with the digital side. I've been a Jewel Design since 2002. As a graphic designer, independent consultant, all that jazz. And when not too long after me and my husband got married, I think within the year that started, and has developed over the years. So, 22 years. Oh, it's a long time. So, all these things are on that side. You can find all these lovely pages if you're still looking for spring stuff. I'm all excited. So, but what we're going to do is, and this is what's a little tricky. I don't know how thick it'll be. I wanted sort of a soft cover still. I didn't want to go too overboard, but I thought we'd try something different. Usually, when you do a fabric, you do a soft cover, it's usually fabric and tissue paper, okay? I got both tissue paper for packing and tissues from napkins. We're going to use a combination. My goal in the end is to have a combination of these florals, the tulips, and the birds near the top, right? Again, a nice cluster of color and gorgeousness at the top, but you have to put stuff on the bottom. So I'm going to take the white napkins from these guys to get this started. I want to end almost near the top. I think I'm going to put this down because it has sparkles in it before we put the color, and a little on top of that. I have some gold that we're going to, chevron that we're going to spouse through and put some peach. So white, peach, gold, and white, and then add the teals and the bright colors on top. So we're going to do a fabric cover, but we're going to use a bag and see how it works. Now, it is paper on paper. We'll see. We'll start. And because if I do this right, I'm going to try to keep this slitted open. So we can have sort of a pocket in the back. I'm hoping it's not quite long enough, which is a bummer. When I go to do this, I'm going to line it up in the front, and then we're going to properly score where we need it to. And I'm going to have it overlap a little bit with paper, with tissue paper, and then slit it for the pocket for the back. Now I can even stop here and add lace to the back. Like, there's ways to extend your cover when you need to. But it is papers on papers. It's not going to make it very heavy, which is fine. This is going to get pretty thick. And since it's already bound and I didn't destroy this part, this is just going to get glued. We're talking Fabri-Tac. We're talking, quite a bit here. We're going to go crazy with getting it glued onto this thing, so that hopefully it'll hold out nicely. If it feels like it's getting too thin, and because we do have the ability to hopefully slip it in, I might put some press board in there. That's the other thing I can do, is put the press board in there and then carefully score it, and away we go. Or glue it onto something. This may be my cover, and we glue it onto press board or glue it onto something else. So it is a work in progress to see how thick it's going to get. But we have a great spine to this one, which sometimes that's the hardest thing, is that you get an old book and the spine, the cover barely holds. The spine's falling apart. Your papers go. I did that with my daughters, and I thought we'd be good. And I went to, put stuff together, and I pulled too many pages out, and there wasn't much to hold everything together. I went, whoops, that backfired. So there's definitely a trick to this. That's why they say, we're gonna be messy today. All right. There's definitely a trick to it. Now, of course, I just glued that down. It was sort of dumb. I may need to have to take half those pages out, but we'll keep reinforcing as we go along if I have to. But that's where hopefully the cover comes into play. I didn't think about what they do is where you glue it to that first page, but I don't think it would stay. So now we're not going to worry about that. All right, so it's a work in progress. We'll give it a shot. We'll try to do the cover and make it work for, the book. I'm stoked about doing an altered. I haven't done a full altered book in I don't know how long. Because I did one for my daughter, and I might have done one other, but it hasn't been my thing. It was a big deal back then. So this is the inside, because we want that pocket, and we want the capability to play with it if we need to. So flip it over. This is your front, this is your back. So when you're also collaging, you keep that in mind. And we're going to go, now normally they would, Gail's suggestion when she was doing fabric and tissue was to do 50% water to 50% Mod Podge. Now, mine is so watery that it doesn't work. I have a glossy that has quite a bit of water in the bottom. Mod Podge is just a big chunk. I think it'd leave this too wet. We sort of saw that with the bookmark. It really did have, it on a little bit of file folder stuff, not bulged. It wrinkled, it didn't want to dry, there's a lot going to it. So I'm going to go a little thicker on the glue side of it. I'm going to use it as a glue, which is what you're using it for, don't get me wrong. But I'm going to definitely keep it to that perspective. If you don't mind me, I am also going to put my fan on, so I do not totally a little fan. Even though it's not very warm yet, thank God. Today is definitely one of our under 80 degree days. And much better this week. Compared to last week when we were trying to paint. My poor daughter. Well, we finished painting on Saturday. It's Tuesday, and her room still, 3 coats of paint later, still smells like paint. I'm just like, oh my God. So when you do napkins, you definitely want that see-through feel. So you try to get off as many layers as possible, so you just have the design. Now, you don't never know how far down. Aha, I see it. Let me see. it goes, but usually there's 2 to 3 layers, surprisingly, of a white or a cream base. And this is the fun part, is that you pull off that white. Now remember, we left white for some things when we were doing the napkin bookmark, because, you know, like our girl blended in, or, so you can always go back and do a layer of white tissue, go, oh, you know what, that's not going to show well. You do a little cluster of white, but see, now you're just down to her. And you're going to let this down, whatever's behind it will pop through. So, that way every layer behind it sort of still shows. Now I think at first I'm just going to put it down to get started, so it's nice and white. I know the brown is really pretty, and I could utilize it, but, oh, it doesn't seem like much, does it? I feel like that's sort of a bummer if I do it. But they all have white. You know, I'll pull it all off and I'll have a horde of white. I wonder if I do that and then put the, cluster some of that and then put the, because the peach, no, tissue from a napkin is definitely thinner than the tissue from wrapping, but they work the same. I love them. I do both all the time. So peach does show this pretty easily. I can always put even some white more over top of that. Now normally you don't do full pages. You rip it, you tear it, you do it just like you would if you were collaging a book page. Very much the same concept. And what I'm going to do is, though, we're going to sort of line up one end. Normally you do this too, then you trim off stuff. You make this a little bit bigger than you need, you trim it off for nice clean corners, and you're done. Now this one, I could put I could still put book corners on it, huh? Oh, because I put the back. Well, if it's thick enough even with the pocket, I may still be able to get maybe thinner book corners on the back, wider ones on the front, and get that going. You guys let me know. I didn't think about that. I mean, I have a few vendors to get book corners from. I know Tim Holtz has his. I love his. A little, but it's the same design. You get, 3 sets, 1 of each color in the vintage, and you're done. I did find a vendor where you get quite a bit of different ones. So we'll have to decide if you guys want a different variety of book covers, but not like 60 book covers, right? Not book covers, book corners. Which I'll show you those when I'm done, what my little set is. But, yeah. Now make sure you have definitely something underneath you. Now I see why you do the water, because this is really thick. And, I don't know. I'm going to be gluing it down in sections, I think, because... And you do the water, too, so that you can get through the tissue paper without ripping it. I really want this to stay, too. That's been my other problem, is that it's drying and things aren't sticking. And the last thing I want to be doing every 5 seconds is adding more glue. So, let's see something here. Like I said, there's some pattern in this tissue. It's super cute. I'm going to go to the edge here. Let it crinkle. I'm not going to... Because then you would go over it. And if this was wet or wetter, whatever, it would go right through. But I'm going to let it crinkle. That's the other fun thing, is allowing the imperfections. And, now that's the thing. I'm not doing this the whole video. Right now. That would get started a little bit, then let it dry. And while it was drying, we would start prepping the altered part. We'd start pulling pages, and I have an idea. See, this is what happens if it's a little sticky. Let me find a wet wipe would be best, but I'll take a dry wipe and see how this goes. I don't want too much glue underneath as I'm going along. Oh, yeah, glue. As you see, no nails still, because I figured I had project after project. So the painting got done, her room is in, we've got furniture where we think we want it. Coming to find out, her room is definitely a lot smaller than we thought. Because we were like, oh, that doesn't, the day bed that it's the same day bed I had, but it's actually my grandmother's. I got rid of mine because it was looking a little, raggedy. It'd been through, I've had it since I was 13, and, I had it I got rid of it, 6 years ago? So, yeah, no, I had it for a while. And it had seen some better days, and I was like, well, my grandmother's is in better condition, I'll take hers. Only bummer part is I had a really good mattress, and I thought she had better mattresses than I did, because again, like I said, I had mine since I was 13, and I gave it away. I'm kicking myself. We get my grandmother's. Come to find out, because they were for the guest room, she didn't spend a lot of money. on the mattresses at all. I went, oh, crap. Oh, well. So my girls have been great. I mean, we added fluff to my daughter's oldest one, because she just has a open sleigh bed, and I was like, oh, yeah, you need something. So we've got egg crates and feather down toppers and all that jazz. And she's like, yeah, good, I'm fine, whatever. But and then we took the trundle mattress. See, that's my only worry, is that is. And it's fine because her loft bed doesn't need a thick mattress. You just can't do a thick mattress on a loft bed. So I'm like, oh no, you know. But now she's about to go to a day bed, and you know it needs a mattress. So it's one of her birthday presents. She gets a decent mattress. It's like, okay, we'll replace your mattress. I might. Oh no, then you know the mattress she's on now will just go back into storage because it will be for the trundle. So when she ever moves out, she's either going to take the day bed, or the day bed stays in the room as the guest room, you know, bed. So, you know, this is going to be a problem. I might have to go get. It's a good base to start with and get it going, but I might have to get some water, guys, and some, because this is not quite. It's going to make it really hard. Like, I'm, you know, ripped. I mean, not like it has to be perfect right now. It really doesn't, and that is a joy of this whole ordeal. But if I can't get the darn thing to stick, if it's too much, that's going to be a problem. So, yeah, I'm going to need to go get a container and a wood. It's doing good, and then it didn't do so good. All right. So yes, there's a reason for why we do water, and it doesn't have to have a lot of water, but I think it has enough to help it swish through, because that is not. Let me see if my silicone will help. My fingers, yes. Yeah, there should be glue under there, and there's not. I guess that's the problem. There's no glue to glue it to. It's like, hello. And it's fine. There's no reason for it to have to be perfect. That's the good thing is. But you can see where there's wet spots and things where you can see the brown through it, which is perfect. It's not a, you know, perfect ordeal. And when it's wet enough, it should just rip off. You guys can see, right? Okay, I did back up today so that, you know, you guys could see what I was doing. My voice is weird. Probably from all the paint. But, so now, but her walls are gorgeous. We love the silver and the charcoal, but it is plain. Her room is, it's sort of weird. She's like, oh, this is odd. There's nothing here. We're like, a lot of gray and white and black, but, So we are definitely going to paint some shelves, her accent green, and get those up today, so then she can start putting herself back into her room. She's a little bummed. She's like, a little depressed here, Mom. This isn't my room. I'm like, I know. It's a change. It's an adjustment. You are the color change, but, you know, they gotta adjust. Ooh, they gotta, now I'm trying not to cut the bag because that's what's keeping it sealed, and I don't need that open. There we go. Now we can use this bit later if I need to trim it down. Now once I'm done, I'm able to cut that better. Knowing it's not going to pop off the moment we do it. Okay. And you're going to have some leftovers. You're going to have some stuff that falls over, and then you would trim it up and cut it. Now, like I said, the only goal is to try not to cut the bag because that is a pocket for us. I'm going to get some parchment paper real quick to put inside here so that it doesn't stick together. Because if it gets too wet, it may stick all the way through, and we want that pocket, at least halfway. We want the pocket potential in the back. I think it'd be fun to have something in the back for a pocket. I always liked having pockets somewhere in the cover. And I need, of course, some water and whatnot, so I can put some, I think, some Mod Podge in there, because this is really sticky, and it's going to make it really hard to do. So I'm going to pause you for a second, go get the two things we need, and we'll get some more layers on, and then we'll work on the book. So give me 1 second. See, so quick. Alright, so I just got a glass bowl. That way it's easy to wash and put in the dishwasher. It has a top, so if I get through this and need to, like I said, this is just a first layer. And we'll have to either do the top layer, which is all pretty. I'll come back and do it with you guys again. So, anyway. Now, you can also put parchment paper or wax paper underneath, which also helps with the mess issue. Newspaper, parchment paper, whatever works, right? So I'm going to double up on this nice and easy. Like I said, I just want to see if this will help keep the inside from being too wet, because we are now adding water, and something I can pull out in case, like keep our pocket going and hopefully not completely glue into that. So I'll make sure I am running again. Okay, So found some water. Found water. Just want a little bit. I know I need a lot, but I'm trying to see if I can do this. So I got a 1/4 cup of water. I'm not even pouring maybe, you know, 1/4 cup of Mod Podge and see what happens here, because there we go. Up to the halfway mark that it filled in, but oh, that's a lot. Or it feels like a lot. We'll find out, right? I could always buy more. Do I have a stick? I do have a stick. Let me see if we can use a stick to do this. Seems like it's a lot of water, but you just have to mix it in. And so probably too much water to Mod Podge, but I mean, I filled in Mod Podge until I went up to the 1 inch mark, so I don't know, or 1/2 inch mark. Fluid, whatever. But it is something where a little bit more glue in there. I can always buy more. Always buy more Mod Podge, which I'm going to have to. This is matte, so I could use it over puzzles, I think. I think the glossy was for the I did a puzzle where we actually, you know, kept it on a board, and I glued the puzzle to a press board, large piece of cardboard press board, so we could, and then paint around the edges, and it was a wall piece for the longest time in my youngest's room. I'd say about 6 months ago she finally pulled it off. I was like, oh, okay. Alright, let's see how this works. Right, let's see. Definitely smoother, and I'm hoping that's gonna make a difference here, because we are definitely struggling a little bit with this, and because you don't want to be ripping everything you have every time you go to use it, so. But you also don't want to, you know, soak everything to where you can't figure that out either. So it's a balance, people. But I had the fan on because the stuff does get to you after a while. Alright. I'm going to leave it. I'm like, no, I was going to fix the spot and go over it. I'm like, no, not happening. So hope you're all doing really well. Sorry, I need the caffeine. Alright, so we're going to start. It seems almost too perfect, right? Let's see. No, it works a little bit. So yeah, you have a little bit of wet but below, right? And then you put it on top and you go across it again. Now this is my front, so I have to keep it in mind. You can just do it and take your chances, or you can sort of keep in mind while you're doing it where the front and back of your what's the word, cover is. Sometimes it makes it easier to decide how to decorate it or cluster it if you sort of know where things are going to go. You definitely want as much glue on the bottom as you do on top, especially with the packing tissue paper, because it is a little thicker than just napkin tissue. And it definitely needs a little bit more adhesive. Yeah, it's going to get wet sort of fast. So I'm like, It's like you need it in there. You need to. See what'll happen if there's not enough in between the two, top and bottom. You can put it on the top all you want, and it'll help with the next one, but if you don't get enough underneath it, it just doesn't allow. Okay. You want, 3 to 5 pieces of a design. If you have one, like you do with everything else, we want that, still that same ratio. And you just, so you can, and you fill in between. So this is this, and then the next color you would want, where you don't have this, and then you just keep laying and overlaying everywhere you go. So on the front, I can't decide between the tulips and the birds or both. Plus we're going to have, this flower, these two flowers are going to cluster quite a bit everywhere across the top. And then I love the tulips, and I could then just fussy cut the birds, the bird branch easily, whether it goes both directions, perfect. I can have the birds up higher and the tulips down below. So I think we can do that easily. So I definitely have a plan of attack, which, woohoo, I'm all stoked. I'm going to get one more in here. I feel like we need some on the bottom. Even though the tulips are going to go there, so maybe not. I don't know. You get all like, ooh, maybe, because you don't know what's going to pop through and what isn't. until you're done. It's just pretty prominent, so it probably will. It's okay to go a little over. Obviously, later, as it starts drying, you can start cutting off the excess, carefully in this case, so that you could wrap it in. If we were going to cover the inside of the bag with something, you could always just wrap it inside and then cover it up, and you'd have a nice thicker edge. Which right now I do realize that we have nothing on that. That the edge of our book is going to be sort of brown. Which I just stressed it. It's not the end of the world. I don't know if this is going to work right now. Weird time to be doing this, but there's no... I'm like, I realize the little gusset on the bottom of the bag needs to be sealed. So that it doesn't pop up. Because, like I do with other things, well, we're doing my lunch bags. Anyway. Seal those odd spots to make it more of a more coherent, solid surface. But like I said, I hope you're all doing really well. We are at what, the 16th now of December, or not December? Ha! That's taking Christmas in July to a whole new level. We're in July and we're at the what, 16th? Is that where we're at? Yeah, we're on the 16th. We are halfway through, people. Oh my gosh, another month, which means we're at the halfway mark of the year. Oh, that's not let those sit there. Halfway through the year, too. Jeez. But we hit December, we were technically, 6 months done. That's terrifying in its own right. Kids go back to school in less than a month now. That's not fun either. One's frantically trying to get her permit training done so she can try to drive. The other one is, said she wants her. Let's see. We're working on our room. So today is definitely shelving units so that we can get some of the stuff that's hiding in my garage. I got it all blended in with my shipping stuff. She's like, where are we gonna put this? I'm like, oh, I have spots. This is all the stuff you want to keep in one piece. I have places within my shipping stuff. And that is peach. Whew. Now, like I said, we're gonna tone that down with a white glitter. Anywhere I feel is too much, not an issue. But you gotta do something. We want some of that. We still want that lovely. I'm gonna put that white down, but gotta get a decent amount done. But yeah, so we do some painting today, and we're up and out early. I was working on product all day yesterday for you guys, restocking things that were running low, getting new product, my finger's sticking, new product out, getting old product restocked. It's photo day today too. I got some new products, actually new stuff that came in, so we got to get that prepped and ready. But yeah, we got the Christmas stuff out. I've got some stuff in line for fall, or things that just look good with fall, either way. So we've got that. The cool part is trying to get this in different shapes. If you don't want to rip anything, yeah, you sort of blotch it down. It does put a little bit more glue down. Then whatever's left on your brush, you can just sort of go over with, and it's good. Alright, yeah, we're definitely going to have to do some sections. I don't want things to start ripping, so we'll get the last of this peach down, and then I'm going to put it aside to start drying, and we're going to work on the book. Because I don't want you to get bored and leave. But you do this with fabrics, you can do this. We're trying this with that. I did the bookmark, we did the file folder, and we made the bookmark. But yeah, see, it's pretty soft. But once it dries, it gives you a really nice crinkly feel. I've done this on Starbucks bags. I took a Starbucks not gift bag, but like a to-go bag where they have the little handles, and I made a handled cover for a December daily. Right, one of my Christmas journals. I used my porch prints, and she had a candy cane Christmas one that I loved, and went ahead and did that. And I took some really simple. I didn't go too crazy. I just wanted some to cover up some of the more, like, I wanted the green part, but not so much the Starbucks part. So I covered up what I really didn't want to see as much, and with tissue. same thing. I just went for it. And over here, I'm going to overlap again. But yeah, I've put in tissue and like gift wrap tissue and napkin tissue over quite a few things. I have a lot down here, and I feel like it's very so we definitely are, when we cover the tulips over here, things like that. But it does allow me to put more flowers over here because this is going to be more decorated. So let's start with that. All right. If it feels like it's too much, I mean, all I have to do, really, if I want to tone it down, is put a white over it again. And put the white on it, really tone it down, then put the flowers on top of that. Right, then it leaves me room to put the flowers thinly over that. And then put these guys on top. So I might, let's let it dry a little bit, and then that might be my thing. So yes, I want white sparkle in here somewhere. So I'm thinking it's going to go white. I think we're going to go floral. We're going to put the white sparkle over that, and then that allows these two to have some oomph, right? With a little bit more sparkle maybe over something. So I think that's the layering. I think that's, I'm even going to put them down so I know. Top to bottom to go bottom to top. Right. Okay. So I'm going to put it aside on my workbench, and hopefully I'll be doing some laundry later, so that'll help dry it up. So what I'll do is probably get the next couple layers down, and then I'll come back with you guys and we'll put the fun decorative stuff on top. So that way, you know, you get to see that part, and it's not, you get to see the end part. That's funner to do and more decorish. More decorish. Okay, I'm going to wrap this. It's not wet, but I'm going to make sure you wash these off pretty quickly, or within, you know, a very short period of time in between stuff, so that it doesn't get rock hard, which it has a tendency of doing. So, hold on one sec. I'm here, but I have to yell. Luckily, well, the fan has to wake up sooner or later. Because one has to paint, the other one has work. Okay, so here's the new fun part. I've got some thoughts and plans on this one. I'm really stoked. So we want something fun on the front. So I may actually look through my stuff and do that. Now, these guys were mini 5x7 pages, piano pages that I had made. They are duotone. They have etchings and all fun things. And so these I may instantly back kind of deal, and they'll give me large journal cards that go in the pockets. Now I could do it, huh? You know what? I may back these actually with some eco dyed or copy dyed, and then cut them. And we have plenty of large journal cards to add in. So I wanted to do that because I thought it'd be a fun thing. Because what I'm thinking is we're gonna do, we're gonna get in here, and we're gonna have one page that's gonna get folded in some fun way, glued to the next one, so you see it becomes a pocket. But then this one we're going to glue down the top and bottom, right, to this page, and it makes it an automatic pocket, and a pretty good size one for that matter. And then the fourth page has the same effect, maybe to the back side, right? So each set has a pocket front and back and a pocket straight in. Now you can glue it to where it goes in sideways, or you can glue it this way so it goes in. So you can go both ways, and if you leave a little bit, it sticks out as a tab. So we have all that. It's a very weird book. Okay, so we're going to do something fun on the front of this one. I need to cover this one completely because, we need some basics. So we'll cover here, cover here, cover here, and here. Now this one I may just ink because really it's a pretty plain piece. So we'll just cover this side. 1, 2, 3 covered. Leave that blank to write on. We'll just ink it, and page 4 will get covered. That way, they're individuals in their front, and they give us something to start with. Because I'm a little afraid to do too many pieces right off the top out and have it be too flimsy. So then, this would be fun. It's gonna get folded down. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're gonna keep the first 8 pages to keep us going. But then you pull the next 8 pages. I think it's 7 or 8 is the thing. If it was a thinner book, you may only take 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. Now, first off, I just realized a couple different things. I wanted to ink the whole edge of this book. So whether I pull the pages out or whether I left them in, I want them inked, right? We want that look, feel. So I'm thinking about we're just going to do this. To get started, I got my big, I think it's a JP&K. They are just, I think they're just makeup brushes. They're really soft. They're absolutely gorgeous, and they're great for this kind of inking, or you want to do bigger splotches of ink. Because when you do it right, you know, I don't really want to do too much, but we need these pages inked. I want the edges inked, have that gorgeous, you know, gold edged type feel, but we're going to have it inked. That way when I also take the pages out, they're already got some ink on them. Gives me a starting point. Now, because a lot of these pages I pull out can help me make, you know, ephemera later. Oops, yeah, no. Fold it, cover it, you know, give us that pretend old world book feel if we do it right. But before I pulled anything out, I wanted to do this because, one, it's easier when it's thicker. What are we all working on? I mean, I know the idea of Christmas in July started the month. We're on 4th of July. It's funny how funny we do Christmas in July, and we have such an emphasis right on 4th of July. For those of us in the U.S., at least, it's so funny. And I know Christmas is, you know, now, on the other side of the world, like in Australia and stuff, it is winter for them. So Christmas in July is not too far. For them, may feel far-fetched, but to us, we'd be like, oh, it's like, instead of flying south for the winter, you know, we go to the east hemisphere, far east hemisphere for winter. Winter now in July. I have no idea. That must be so weird. I mean, to them it's not. If you've lived in Australia or any of those on that side, that would technically have the opposite seasons of us. Plus, I think it has to do with the upper and lower end of the equator. But to have, you know, that kind of feel just seems so weird to have, like, summer at Christmas and winter right now in July. And, you know, we're very, because you're all, we all, it's what you know, right? It's like, well, I don't know any differently. So, though I know one of our lovely designers, Joey, I think he's from, like, UK or something like that. So, they're, of course, the very same layout as we are, right? But then he moved to Australia, so I wonder how much of a culture shock, or not culture shock, but shell shock it was for, like, seasonal stuff. I think he's probably gotten used to it by now, of course, but wow, right? I'm like, wow is all I can say. Now, I'm going to do a little bit of these back pages, and maybe some of my front ones, because it is, who knows if it's going to get covered, or if it's just going to stay. It's a back page, I may just leave it. Right, it's one of the few, we may get a few here and there where I don't have to do anything to them but a little inking, and I might just stencil it or whatever, because you have to have the back. I have probably the same back 8 pages as I do the front to make sure things hold out, so we may want to keep that in mind. So let's see if we can do that too. So it's some paper clips. That's the other thing. Paper clips. Oh, I wish I could grab something. Hold on. I need a hoard of something to do this. You definitely want to cluster things. A lot of paper clips. So 1, 2, oh good, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the last one 8. So maybe these last 7 because they are very interesting. Now as we get to it, we may decide to change that, but these guys are all pretty fun, and some of them are plain, so it gives us some automatic writing space on the back. So I'm very stoked about that. Hold on. You guys are going to want to vary your paper clips too, because it's going to get bulky. Alright, then we go 1. We're going to cover this one, but we're going to add a little extra. We've got 2. Yeah, this is where we're going to want to, I don't have to do much of this one because it's already, now whatever's on the other side will help block any and all. I guess I better up my ante here on my distressing. So I'm a little bit of a, as we go, prep it, basic things, so I don't think about it, but we'll see. We see 3, that's 4, 5, 6, and 7, and 8. So you can keep the 4 and then do the first thing with the 4. Okay, so these are all going to get covered directly, and these are my first thing. Now my first thing I'm thinking about is folding it down and covering it, right? But we're not going to make it a pocket per se. I want to put Velcro here, and it's going to open up, and the pocket's going to be in here. Maybe there's a pocket here. We'll make the big pocket here, and then the back one can be more of a closed up pocket. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So what I'm going to do is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So I have a fun thing I want to do, which I just don't know right off the bat if it's good to do, if it's going to be too thick. That's my only thing. So I'm thinking, well, it might be something farther in, but who knows. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. How many pages is this thing? I don't know if it makes a difference. I never thought of it. It's 410 pages, so I don't even want to know. That's the other thing. Okay, so that's 8. 410 divided by 8. 10 sections, right? Oh, good Lord. Divided by 8. Weight goes into 40, what, 5 times? So it's about 50 sections, 50 sets. 50 sets of keep 4, get rid of 8. 50, that's quite a bit. But then I worry, like, that's not going to be enough. Oh, God. I guess we'll find out. Now, I am attempting to just tear and not cut. I'm afraid if I cut too far, right? But I don't think we want... I never, I may have to do some reconnaissance here and do go back to an old, Gail maybe. Gail hasn't done one in a long time. In the beginning, like when I first started, 4 years ago, altered books was sort of the thing for a journal. We've sort of veered from them, and I noticed I haven't seen anybody do one in a while. Not that I watch, nobody and I watch, or it hasn't been clear enough for me to go, oh yeah. Alright, so yeah, I should have brought out the samples of the new colors. Not much purple is going back into my daughter's room. If we can get the day bag going, then she does have... I'm afraid to push too hard. Yeah, afraid to push too hard. Aha. And because you want to keep enough in here so that it does help keep things together. Sort of helps keep things glued together. Yeah, I'm going to have to re-glue. Alright, 1, 2, 3. Okay, give me a second. Let me go cut these out and I'll be right back. Let's not waste any time, right? Because we're getting up there. Okay, about 10 more minutes. So I cut, see I cut, that's the only worry about what I was, my only other worry was that if I cut too much with the, I would keep cutting. So that's 9. And it's going to happen. There's nothing I can do about it. But okay. So I think the first one I'm going to make pretty simple because, like I said, I'm really afraid of making things too bulky right off the bat. And then I got to reinforce with glue, it looks like. I really thought this would hold. What happens when you start yanking. Well, I started yanking at first and then realized that was sort of dumb, and let's go get the right undo material. I need this little piece of cardboard to hold on and stick. Because I'm cutting these out. I'm not ripping them out. I mean, I'm ripping, but I'm not, right? I'm cutting them. So nice part is that what I didn't cut out in here stays in here and sort of keeps a faux tip type effect. Okay, so this one I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but maybe it's on the second one we're going to have this really fun ooh, there's stuff on my fingers. Alright, so what I want to do is, maybe you just saw Gail do sort of the same effect. Come on. Get in there. I'm going to tip it in enough. Yeah, there we go. Okay. You fold this. Okay, you cover this. You cover this. Now, normally if this was glued down as a pocket, you would just cover enough so you couldn't really see, right? We're covering up the words. And forgive me, should be a pretty clean book, but you never know. Anyway, but what I want to do instead is put a little piece of Velcro, which Collage. I have to find where my Velcro is. Oh, there it is. So we'll take one of my tiny Velcros that are in the shop and do a little Velcro piece here, right? I have both small and large. I want to say this is the small one. I got another one. So we'll do that. Velcro piece here. That open it up, and this is right here. So I could put, gotta cover the inside. The only downside is that, you know, you're not a flat surface to work with. Ugh. So, you know, you have to sort of figure out how to do it. Okay. So we need to cover the inside, right? And then make a pocket here, right? So you'll do your thing and then put your Velcro on the outside. We're gonna do the pocket. So cover here, nice and pretty. I want a pocket here. I think a pocket here, so cover and pocket. And then we're gonna glue these two together, and then we're gonna put a upper pocket on this one. So it's a lot of pockets when you're done. But this is where you get to put all your fun ephemera in it that you can write on. So, I'm not doing anything inside. So what I'm thinking is, let's get some extra oomph here. I'm gonna do a little prep work here before I leave you. And this is where we'll start. I'll make sure that I have papers all ready to go. I don't have to do too much on the inside here, technically, because we're not going to see the inside, and we're not going to try to cover the inside. I'm going to let the book pages on the inside of the pocket be there, because you really can't read them. So it's not like I'm going, oh no, I have to cover them perfectly. No, no, no. We do not have to do that. And you get your book, you get your altered book feel, because you are, you know, I'm going to, because we are going to keep the fold. And I am doing this because when, like, you know me, I tear and I do my thing, and I like to have it sort of, what's the word? Now this is where you can use your glue stick, or you can use your, now, and when you do these, you normally will keep most of your flap to a point because you want that weight, to help reinforce the book. Yes, we're gonna put, of course, we're gonna be putting, you know, paper on here, so it's gonna make each page thicker again. But here, so we're going to glue that one down so that I don't have to worry about it later when I'm trying to match up pages. A little hard to get everything covered. As the book goes on, it's either going to get better or worse. Let's hope that this little book, as new as it is not cheap. It's not so cheap that it falls apart on me. Or not, well, then the pages get ripped out, we'll use them elsewhere. That is the thing. If this starts falling apart and it doesn't want to work, then I've got pages done, and I could pull them out, and we could ring them. We could find another way to use them. There's always a way. There's always a way. We might not glue that book. We may not glue that cover on until the last minute. Okay, so this is going to be an open page. But I know that we're going to make our first pocket automatically right here. And I'm going to make it a side pocket. So I'm going to try, haha, I'm terrible at this. Let's use the right. Let's use my left hand. Just the more precision, being that I'm left-handed. I don't want to use up a lot of space. I want to have as much space as possible to put those large journal cards in. It's a good-sized book, but a 5x7 might be a little tight if I don't get the glue on the edges. Alright, so we're going to do that. Get my finger. Ooh, come on. We're going to press down as good as I can. And what we'll want to do, I don't know, on either end of it, hello, come on, is we have to decide both ends maybe. Once we cover it, we're going to hole punches, thumb notches are always helpful. Lets you know that there's something in there. Okay. And then, so this one's going to have a Velcro, so it's going to open up for pockets. But the back side, we're just going to make pocket. Now, you can do pockets like I saw. You can do them this way, so it's more of a tuck. You could go up, but I think you can go up and down and make it a double. We got a lot going on already, so I think we're going to keep it pretty simple. Now, it is easier to fold them in on this side, I noticed. There we go. Okay. It's a lot easier to do it this way, but I'm not going to glue it down because I got to get enough paper in there right off the bat to cover. So I don't want to, you never want to glue too much down before you get your paper in there, because it sometimes makes it really hard to get a piece of paper in there and get it glued in, right? We've done it with envelopes, we've done it with many things where you go, oh, why did I do that? I needed more room, I needed more oomph. We're going to add a little extra here. because I want to make sure that even when I'm covering, even though we brushed a lot on and it's mostly there, it's not perfection, right? So I did buy more of these, guys. Oh my gosh, I'm going through glue sticks. I mean, between the packaging, because I do the instantly double-sided journal cards for so many things for you guys. You buy laces and mesh, and you know, I've created these lovely little cards and journals and, you know, journal cards and stuff to wrap things with. Oh man, talk about going through the glue. All right, so we've got our second one here. So I will put a maybe a little paper clip here to remind me they are supposed to be glued together, right? Those are going to be glued together. And see, so you would have a nice large pocket here. We have the pocket inside, and then this is going to be a flap open. We're going to actually open this one up and make pockets on the inside, right? I can even belly band this one and pocket this, but I do want to cover this concept and make it a pocket, I think. I don't know. We'll cover it, maybe not. Maybe because of the size, we'll cover front and back, and then maybe just make this the pocket. Put a pocket here that is hidden, so it's sort of like, and it will get Velcro to the edge of the pocket, and then we have that to tuck in. So maybe we'll put the pocket on this side. Here's the fun thing. Everything's getting covered, so you can write notes on your stuff. Do it low enough to, you know, I can write the word pocket, right? Here. I'll make a little note that I need a Velcro piece there, right? Isn't that fun? That means Velcro, sure. Velcro. Perfect. Yeah, that's going to work. So, and this is just nice decor. Decorative, paper, pocket, whatever the pocket can be. Could be lace, could be whatever. And then we have a pocket back here and our pocket in here. But that's what you do. 4 pages. You just fold and decor a number of different ways. I will look some stuff up to make sure there's not anything I'm missing in the sense of how-tos. There, you know, there's this version that's straight down. You fold it inward, like I mentioned, this way, so you can tuck it this way. You can do both up and down so that you have a top and bottom tuck. I have to see what else there is. I don't know if I had anything else exciting, but there's 2 or 3 different ways to make these, you know, pockets. But we're gonna get crafty where things are opening up and maybe flipping out, and I'm not just making pocket after pocket, you know, but because they are decorative, you have to have your writing pages somewhere. Oh, so that's the other thing. So duh. So there's this. Okay, so then we take the next, you know, 8. I did 9 on the last one, so maybe we'll do 7 on this one. So we'll go 7, 8, or 9, depending on what we did the one before. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. This has to come out, right? I'll put it on the bottom so I know it has. This is the ones that have to come out. But then the next 4, I think 3 or 4, these need to be eco dyed or coffee dyed or both. I have a hordes of things. So these next 4, so the sides are covered, the tops are whatever, I don't know. So these we need to put coffee in so we can write on them. Let's make sure we have some writing space. Coffee, eco, covered, journaling. Right? So get some color in there. I've got pinks, I got coffee, and I don't think I have much blue left, but we're gonna do coffees and pinks and greens in here, and we'll cover the next 4, you know, with that. And then the next one would be another set of like this, right? So 4, well, no, we're covering these, so this has to be a pocket concept. We must already goofed, huh? Did I already goof? These 4 are covered. Let's do this wrong, because we know these 4 are going to be covered because they're decorative. So maybe we're going to have both, yeah. This, so 2 sets. I'm going to do a half and half. I'll be crafty with these guys. Maybe we'll do a little bit of both. We could fold it to where you can write on it, and then, I'm way over on my time. Let's see, we could do it this way and tuck it in. We can tuck a journal card in here. I could use a little thinner. Now what we could do is cover, tuck, eco dye the back, cover, and then do this. We can do a little bit of a split. Oh, got some ideas here. Okay, so we're going to attach these two together and make a tuck. Okay, we're going to attach these two together to make a tuck, but we're going to cover these sides with coffee. Here's the joint pencil. So there we go. We're going to make that. So right off the bat, we'll cover these four beautifully. We'll tuck in. We'll do a coffee. We'll do a coffee. We'll do a tuck. Then we have this Velcro that opens up with, with a number of pockets, and then we'll pull those out, and then we'll do some, 4 coffee dyed pages, and then we'll do another set of fun. So there we go. See, already it's getting full. Now we're going to take out, a set of these to help make up for the room. So the only reason you remove 8 pages is because you're going to be covering these, right, with more paper and stuffing things into them. So they're going to get thick in their own right. So you have to make room for that, like we do with our signatures that we put, things in every so often. So I'm now learning here. Hold on. We're keeping these back ones to cover. So if I'm just covering them directly, it's on the side. If it's the top, if I'm making something with it, bottoms, am I pulling it out, right? Let's see if my color coding works, except when I need to. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna let you go. There we are starting, a new project that we'll do for a few days straight to get the ball rolling, and then it'll be something that will come and go as I put new papers together and want to share things. We will, get these, blended in. I do need to find more pages from like the kit, so that we have a variety, so we're not too heavy one way or another. Not that I can't go from one set to the next throughout the book. It'd be nice to have some of it varied though, so that there is a consistency and sort of a, organized pattern of papers. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We've got that done, or at least started. We have the idea. We have worked on the potential of our cover. We are working, and it's drying, actually not too shabby. Some of it's already dry. And we are working on a, paper bag tissue cover to recover this. And we're going to continue to add more fun elements to that and decorate it up. So hopefully you guys will all continue with me, coming back as the week progresses here into next week, and then we'll work on the next project. So love you all very, very much, and we'll talk real soon. Bye-bye.